Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're okay. So let's get on and do a couple more of these little watercolour cards. I'm just going to start out again with the black soot, black charcoal, handmade watercolour. And if you'd like to see how I made these watercolour paints, I'll put the link in the description box and you can click, and I've got a little video of how I make my own natural watercolours. So I'm going to do a tree again. And I think I'm just going to let it play out for you for a little bit. Here's the point where I should have just left the little fox how it was, but I didn't. I went and added more and ended up ruining it, which happens sometimes. So what I had to do then is repair it. And it ends up, as you'll see in a bit, completely different to how it looks now when it looked actually okay. That's what happens sometimes. So I'm just trying to build up this little fox's snout, but I ended up just kind of making it look like a bear. And then I wasn't happy with it. So what I decided to do in the end was to remove some of the watercolour paint where I wanted to give him a little bit more definition. So one thing that is quite easy to do with watercolour is to, with a clean wet brush, is just to remove some of the paint, which is what I ended up doing. So I'm just finishing off some of the tree branches, and then I decided that he looked kind of more like a bear than a fox, and a bear's okay, but I kind of wanted him to be a fox, and I just wasn't happy with it, so I ended up altering it again. But let's just add some more branches to this tree. I've swapped to a finer brush so I can get some finer detail branches. So I'm going to go into the next piece whilst that one dries a little bit, because I wanted to see how it dried. And this one I think I'm just going to have branches. And I'd already removed a little bit of the inks that were down before to leave a white patch that I can add a sun. So I'm just drawing some branches, just adding ones. Just added a little bird sat on the branch, and once I've finished with this, I'm going to go over to the white and start adding all the snow and the sun. So I'm just adding the white onto the branches, just here and there, just to act like falling snow. And I'll probably add some more splashes. I really like how the sun has turned out with the bird sat on the branch. It's one of these misty days where you can see the sun through the cloud, so it just looks like a pale white ball in the sky. And I really like that kind of effect. Of course, it could also be the moon. It depends on what you want to think. So here's where I tried to add a little bit more detail to the foxstroke bear and then just completely ruined it. so I had to go in and remove some of the paint and kind of let it dry and repair it. And it just ended up a complete disaster. I should have just left it alone. But these things happen. And the good thing is with watercolours is you can repair, you can remove paint quite easily. Especially on this paper, it turned out it was actually quite easy to remove even the black paint. So I just kept on with the wet brush, the wet clean brush, just taking away areas that I wanted to rework. And then I go back in with the black until I'm happy with how he looks, which took a while, as you'll see. Little fox turned out to be really problematic for me today. I just could not get him right. So even after reworking him and removing some of the paint, I ended up changing him again because I just ruined him. I should have just left him as a bear, shouldn't I? So I ended up just letting it dry a little bit more, adding some more black and just changing him. You can see here I'm just scrubbing it all out because it was just getting on my nerves at this point. And then I just had to let the paper dry and come back to it. And once it had dried, I just removed a little bit of the excess wet there so it would dry a little bit quicker. And then came back in and added some repair once it had dried a little bit. And I think managed to get him more acceptable. I just had him sitting down in the end. Sometimes there are some animals I can draw without reference pictures, and foxes are not one of them. So, and I didn't have a reference picture handy, so I just kind of made him an impression of a fox sitting down in the snow. And I think he ended up being okay. Or maybe he's a dog. I don't know. What do you think? Is he a fox or is he a dog? I just wanted to say also thank you to all my new subscribers. My last video was doing quite well. I'll put a link below it if you didn't see that one. That was painting the cats next to these two. So I'll put a link below, and it seems we've got quite a lot of new subscribers from that video. So welcome and thank you ever so much for subscribing. It's really appreciated. And I hope you enjoy this one even with its little errors. But sometimes it's good to see the errors because you can see that they can be corrected. It's only paper, it's only watercolour, so you can usually paint over it and turn a mistake into a happy mistake. Sometimes you end up with something better than you planned. So we'll see how this goes anyway. The foxy is taking shape, although from where I'm looking at it now, he kind of looks like a little pig. Maybe that's what he is. Maybe he's a little black pig sat in the snow, or a giant rat. I don't know. But he's something, and he's sitting under this tree in the snow. And he looks quite cute anyway, so I'll just leave him as he is, I think, and add some more snow. I thought about maybe putting some rocks and some dirt around him. So it looks like he's sitting on some rocks near the trees, like the cat is in the below picture. And then we'll add some more snow. And these two are done. So we've taken, I think this video takes me just over 20 minutes. So that's still under 15 minutes each for each card once they become cards in the end, which is still pretty good going. Still got 2 more to go, but I ran out of battery on my phone, so I record the final 2 pictures for the next video. So I hope you enjoy, and do like and subscribe if you did, and leave a comment below. That would be great. And I'll see you again in the next video. Have a great week. Bye.